Southern California holds a certain stillness in the early morning. Light arrives slowly there, not sharp, not rushed. It spreads gently across quiet suburbs, low buildings, and the faint glow of street lamps that linger a little longer than necessary. In March of 1972, the town of Laguna Niguel felt that stillness. A small community then. New developments, wide streets, hills moving softly toward the ocean. It was a place built on sunlight and long, calm afternoons. Before the day began, the bank sat quietly on Crown Valley Parkway, a simple building of its time. Rectangular, ordinary, glass that reflected the waking sky. Inside, the vault rested behind layers of concrete and steel. It was silent each morning before the staff arrived. Documents neatly stacked. Safety deposit boxes closed. The air cool and still. Nothing about this morning suggested anything unusual. Nothing suggested that a quiet shift in routine had already begun. Days earlier, out of sight. The story of the heist did not start on the morning it was discovered. It began in small, almost unnoticed movements long before. A man named Emil Dincio, along with several others, traveled from Ohio to California earlier that month. They arrived quietly, nothing dramatic. They rented rooms, bought food, walked through stores like ordinary visitors. At night, they drove around Laguna Niguel. The roads were empty then, the neighborhoods dim. Only the sound of tires on asphalt marked their presence. Some believe they studied the bank for weeks. Others suggest their planning went back much further, shaped by experience from other break-ins. What is known is that they looked for a place where time moved slowly, where nights were quiet, and where the ground could be opened without interruption. The bank, sitting close to a small hillside, offered such a place. Behind the building, the earth sloped gently upward. The distance between the hill and the vault wall was not large, just enough for an idea to take shape. There were no signs posted, no alarms on the outer walls, nothing indicating that something beneath the surface could become an entrance. Not yet. On the night of March 24th, 1972, the group moved with quiet purpose. They parked away from the bank. They carried tools. They walked softly, careful to avoid attracting attention. They entered the hillside behind the bank, not with force, but with steady, patient work. Digging began there, slowly, the earth giving way little by little. They created a small tunnel, working through the night, then again the next night, and again, nothing fast, nothing rushed. Inside the tunnel, the air was still and warm. Soil walls pressed close. A small light glowed faintly, their movements quiet, controlled. Eventually, they reached the bank's foundation, concrete, thick and strong. They set charges, carefully placed, designed to break the wall without causing attention above. When the charges went off, the sound was muffled by the earth, a low thud, barely noticeable. Above ground, the night remained calm. The hole opened into the vault. Not a large opening, but enough to crawl through. Inside the vault, safety deposit boxes lined the walls, rows of metal, silent and waiting. The intrusion left no immediate mark outside the bank. The streetlights continued their slow glow. Cars passed distantly. No one saw the movement happening below. The group worked for hours, opening box after box, removing contents, stacking items, packing them quietly. By morning, they were gone. The vault door still locked, the building untouched. It would be some time before anyone realized what had happened beneath their feet. The next business day began as usual. Employees entered the bank unaware that anything had changed. The vault was opened according to routine. Inside, the scene was surprising, but not chaotic. There was no damage to the door. The floor was dusty. Safety deposit boxes were disturbed. Some were open. Many were empty. It became clear, after a moment of confusion, that the entry had not come from the front. It had come from behind the wall. A hole large enough for a person to pass through sat in the concrete. Beyond it, earth, scattered tools, and a dark, narrow tunnel. The emptiness of more than 400 deposit boxes soon became evident. Documents, cash, jewelry, personal items, all gone. The amount taken was later estimated at around $9 million at the time, more than $60 million in today's value. One of the largest bank burglaries in American history. But the scene remained still. No broken glass, no alarms, no hurried escape marks. Just a quiet room and an open wall leading into darkness. Investigators found tools left behind in the tunnel. A rope, buckets, some discarded clothing, footprints in the soil. None of these objects spoke loudly. They held no dramatic signatures, just small traces of presence. Inside the vault, many of the emptied boxes lay open with their metal doors bent or pried. A few contained personal letters. Some held nothing but dust from the drilling. One detail stood out later. The group had left no fingerprints inside the vault. The work had been deliberate, measured, controlled. These objects became part of the record. Photographed, cataloged, stored in silent evidence rooms far from the scene. Some believe the group targeted the bank partly because of reports that one of the deposit boxes belonged to a figure linked to organized crime. This theory suggests they were looking for specific contents. Others suggest the location was chosen simply for its layout. The hillside, the blind wall, and the quiet surrounding streets providing an unusual opportunity. It is possible that both motivations existed at once, or that neither played as large a role as later stories suggest. There are also interpretations about the precision of the operation. Some think the group had prior experience with explosives and tunneling. Others point out that patience, rather than expertise, may have been the key component. The movements inside the vault remain based on what was found, not on what was seen. No cameras recorded their actions. No witnesses observed them. The theories rest between these gaps, held at a distance, shaped by documents and memory, not certainty. Laguna Niguel continued to grow in the years after the heist. New buildings appeared. Roads expanded. The town's quiet rhythm remained, shaped by sunlight, open spaces, and the steady movement of daily life. The bank itself eventually changed. Its ownership shifted. The building was remodeled. Time softened the details of what once happened beneath it. Elsewhere, the group involved in the heist faced consequences. Some were arrested. Some served sentences. Some returned to quiet lives. But the specifics fade into the broader landscape of stories that settle into history. Today, the hillside looks unremarkable. Grass grows there. People walk past without knowing what lies beneath the soil. Cars move along Crown Valley Parkway, steady and unhurried. The space holds no visible memory of a tunnel or a breach. Only the earth remembers, in a way that cannot be seen. Decades have passed since the heist. The money taken has long circulated through other hands, or vanished into quiet places. Personal items removed from the safety boxes may now sit in drawers, attics, or private collections, their origins forgotten. Time has softened the event. New stories have risen in its place, yet the outline of the heist remains as one of the most carefully executed in American history. Still, many questions remain unanswered. Why this bank, exactly? What motivated each individual involved? How much planning took place beneath the surface of ordinary days? And what became of every piece taken from those boxes? These questions remain suspended in time. Not urgent, not demanding answers, simply present. The vault is gone now, the tunnel filled, the tools collected, the building quiet once more. In the larger shape of history, The heist rests in a space between certainty and silence, a moment where movement happened quietly beneath an ordinary California hillside and then disappeared into the long passage of years without leaving a clear echo behind. The story ends here, not with a conclusion, but with the stillness that follows, where memory settles gently and time continues on without revealing everything.